Hello children, in this video we can see about means of spread of disease. So disease can be spread through certain means such as air, water, vector, etc. So let us see briefly about that. So first, disease can spread through air. So certain disease such as common cold, tuberculosis, pneumonia, etc. it can spread through air. Some disease such as cholera, amoebic dysentery can spread through water. So water, if we are drinking contaminated water, it contains germs. So if we are drinking the contaminated water which contains germs, it can cause disease such as cholera, amoebic dysentery. Some disease can spread through vectors. So what is meant by vectors? Vectors means carriers which will transmit the disease, which will carry the disease causing agent to the healthy person. Okay, so mosquitoes will carry the malarial parasite, dengue virus, then yellow fever virus. So these virus can be carried through mosquito to the healthy person, which will infect the healthy person and cause malaria, dengue, yellow fever, etc. Okay, then flies also act as vectors or carriers which will transmit the disease causing agent to the healthy person. So here you can see the food item in which the fly is sitting. Yes. So when fly is sitting, it is carrying, it is injecting the disease causing agent into the food items. Okay, so if we are eating the certain food items which in which it contains the disease causing agent, it will cause disease such as typhoid, tuberculosis, diarrhea, dysentery, food poisoning, etc. Now, some disease can cause through sexual contact. So, example for the disease caused through sexual contact is syphilis, AIDS. So, AIDS virus can also spread through blood transfusion. Blood transfusion means what? Some human being used to give blood who is called as donor. Okay, so the person who is giving blood is called donor, and the person who is receiving the blood is called recipient. Okay, so if the person who is giving blood, that is donor, is having the AIDS, then when he is giving the blood to the recipient who is receiving the blood, this AIDS virus also spread into the blood of the recipient. Then AIDS virus also can spread from infected mother to her baby during pregnancy. So, mother womb, the baby will be growing for 9 months. Yes? So, during the time when if the mother is infected with any disease, the particular disease can be transferred to the baby during pregnancy and also through breastfeeding. Now, AIDS cannot spread through the physical contact. Okay, so AIDS is not a contagious disease. It does not spread by the casual contact such as shaking hands, coughing and sneezing, kissing and embracing, sharing utensils and telephones, swimming pools and toilets, sharing towels, blood sucking insects, crowded transport. Okay, so AIDS, it is not a contagious disease which will not spread by the physical contact such as by shaking hands or by sharing towels or by sharing utensils or telephone or by blood sucking insects or crowded transport. It can be transmitted to other person only through sexual contact or through blood transmission or from the infected mother to the baby during pregnancy or through breastfeeding. Now, some disease can be spread from animals to people. So, we often used to love our pet animals. Yes, so we used to touch our pet animal. Yes, so after playing or after petting our animals, we have to wash our hands. Or if you are touching any surface which they come into contact with, also we have to wash our hand, because some disease can spread from animals to people. Okay, so some animals we like more, as so cat or dog, if you are touching, or if you are touching any surfaces in which these animals come into contact, we have to wash our hands, so we can avoid the disease which spread from animals to people. Now, some diseases are organ specific. I told already some diseases are caused due to the malfunctioning of the organs in our body. Yes, so some disease is organ specific and some disease is tissue specific. Okay, so disease causing microbes enter the body by different means and goes to different organs. So sometimes they will affect the different organ, sometimes they will affect the tissues. Okay, so what is meant by tissues? A group of cells together form tissues, a group of tissues together form organs. Yes, so certain microbes will specifically they will infect the organs, or some they will infect only the tissues. Okay, so here you can see the tuberculosis. We can take one example, tuberculosis, which will enter through the nose and it is likely to go to the lungs and infect the lungs. Okay, so bacteria, it will cause tuberculosis of lungs. So how it will enter? It will enter through the nose and it will affect the organ. So it is an organ specific disease. Now bacteria such as which cause jaundice, so it will what it will do, it will enter the mouth and then it will stay in the gut region. Okay, so it will causes typhoid, and at the same time some bacteria which causes jaundice, it will stay in the liver. Okay, so liver is the organ, gut is the organ. Yes, so bacteria which causes typhoid, it will stay in the gut region. So it is also organ specific, and it will also, and the bacteria which causes jaundice will affect our liver part. Okay, so liver is also the organ, so it is an example for organ specific disease. Now virus which cause AIDS enter the body through sexual organ during sexual contact and spread through the limb to all parts of the body. So this is organ specific. So virus, it enters the body through the sexual organ during sexual contact and spread through the limb to all parts of the body and damage our immune system. Okay, and virus which cause Japanese encephalitis, that is called as brain fever. So brain fever is caused by the virus called Japanese encephalitis, which enters the body through mosquito bite and goes and infects our brain. Okay, so these are some of the example for the organ specific disease. Okay, so organ specific disease example: tuberculosis, which will affect lungs; typhoid, which will affect gut; jaundice, which will affect liver; AIDS, it affect our organ through sexual contact. It will affect organs such as limb and damage our immune system. And Japanese encephalitis, it will cause brain fever and affect our brain. So these are organ specific disease. Now what are the principles of treatment? So treatment of infectious disease consists of two steps. They are we can reduce the effect of the disease. That means symptom which is caused due to disease can be reduced. and we can kill the microbes which cause the disease. So these are principles of treatment. So how we can treat the infectious disease? By reducing the effect of the disease or by killing the microbe which cause the disease. Understood, children? So how we will treat the infectious disease? To reduce it will we can reduce the effect of the disease. Effect of disease means symptoms of the disease, or we can kill the microbes which cause the disease. Now, to reduce the effect of disease, what we have to do? This can be done by taking medicines. Okay. So, if when we are taking medicines, it will bring down the effect of disease like fever, pain or loose motion, etc. And also by taking bed rest to conserve our energy. Okay. So, certain symptoms will be shown by the disease can be reduced by taking medicines. Then how we can kill the microbes? This can be done by taking suitable antibiotics and drugs which kills the microbes and the disease is cured. Now, principles of prevention. So, there are two ways how we can prevent the infectious disease. They are general ways and specific ways. So here you can see the general ways of prevention. First one is public hygiene is most important for prevention of infectious disease. So we have to maintain proper hygienic condition which will prevent infectious disease. Then proper and sufficient food for everyone will make people healthy to resist infection. So if we are taking sufficient and proper nutritious food in our diet, it will resist certain infection and we can prevent the infectious disease. Then airborne disease. Airborne disease, you know, it can be spread through air. So airborne disease can be prevented by living in conditions and that are not crowded. So we should avoid the place we should avoid the crowded place so that we can prevent airborne disease. Waterborne disease, which can be prevented by providing safe drinking water. You know, contaminated water contains germs which will cause waterborne diseases. So we should avoid the contaminated water and we should intake safe drinking water, that means pure drinking water, which will prevent waterborne disease. Then vector-borne disease can be prevented by providing clean environment. So vector-borne means, you know, mosquitoes, flies can cause certain disease such as malaria, as typhoid, etc. So this can be prevented by keeping our environment clean. So these are general ways of preventing infectious disease. Now next is specific ways of prevention. Specific ways to prevent infectious diseases by taking vaccines. So what is the use of taking vaccine? So vaccines will provide immunity from infectious disease like tetanus, diphtheria, whooping cough, measles, polio, etc. Okay, so now you know, nowadays the babies, they used to give vaccination. Yes, so vaccination, why we have to give for the newborn or new children's? The vaccine will provide immunity from infectious disease. Okay, and it will give immunity to the person who is vaccinated. Okay, so our body has an immune system which fights microbial infection. Okay, so when this system first sees an infectious microbes, it kills the microbe and remembers it. So if the microbe enters the body next time, it responds more vigorously. So vaccines mimic the infectious microbe and strengthen our immune system and protect the body from the infectious disease. So it's very important. We can prevent the infectious disease, that is by immunization, that is by taking vaccines. So I hope you have understand about the principles of treatment and principles of prevention. Any doubt is there, means you can ask children. Thank you.